What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. It is Sunday, August 25th, day number 41 inside the Big Brother house. Who won veto? How will it affect the noms? Plus, punishments were handed out to the house guests. Let's talk about that, all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. You like this video? Hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. To give you guys a little recap, if you're just catching up on everything that's been going down, T-Core won HOH. Cam, MJ, and Tucker were her nominations. Despite Tucker volunteering, he really only did it to be polite. The target is MJ, but Tucker surely would be in danger if he ends up on the block on eviction night. Veto was yesterday. Joseph and Angela were picked to play in the veto competition. It's actually kind of funny. Both of them have played in all but one veto competition. It was different competitions for each of them, but still, it's pretty impressive to see them actually in each competition so far, except for one. And it's actually pretty impressive, more so for Joseph, who has not won HOH and has not been nominated. So he's always getting picked or being chosen by house guest choice. So it's just kind of a funny little stat for you. They played alongside the nominees, Cam, MJ, and Tucker, as well as HOH T-Core. And before we get into the competition itself, something that I really appreciated from Big Brother was there was actually a post on Instagram where they said the feeds would be down for an extended amount of time during the competition. And I think they really just meant throughout the day. And that's all we really ever ask for, right? Just a little bit of communication. The only thing is, I bet that probably was just to make sure that speculation didn't run wild again like it did the other night. Still no real good information on that. I will say I did hear a conversation with Leah, Rubina, and T-Core where Rubina kind of mentioned like Angela not knowing about the stuff that happened after HOH and all the drama and the tension. So again, something went down. We didn't get to see exactly what. It seems like the air was cleared and everybody is chilling there. But again, sometimes it's always kind of difficult because you're inside of a game, right? So you might not exactly be comfortable with something that happened, but you might just go, yeah, you know what? It's not as big a deal that I'm going to ruin my game over it and call somebody out and make it a bigger deal than I probably can afford to. So you never really know. And with all the limited information, there's just really no way to give a fair, justified stance on it. Maybe at some point, the person who's evicted this week would say something, but I would also bet that they're probably going to keep that all under wraps for a good while. Let's jump into the veto competition, though. It was the classic Yankee swap, white elephant prize punishment competition. If you guys aren't familiar with that, it's the one where once you're eliminated, you get to pick a prize, or it could be a punishment, or it could be the power of veto. Usually the first person out, they end up picking the power of veto. But then each eliminated contestant gets to pick from either the prize that they got to keep, or they can take one of the previous prizes, vetoes, or even punishments after they're eliminated. This goes on until the last one's left. And again, you can choose the veto for yourself. You can get a prize. You can be stuck with a punishment. Pretty fun comp. What happened? What are the results? Well, Joseph won 24 hours in solitary confinement. He will be spending time, I believe in the have-not room is where they're going to set him up to do this. So that should be an interesting time for Joseph. I also maybe, hey, we might see Joseph's funeral incoming, all right? Angela, she has to clean up toxic waste in the backyard. Radiation orbs, I think 1,000 of them is what she has to do in 12 hours. She started at around 1 a.m. Eastern so that she would go all the way to 1 p.m. Eastern. What's coast time? What's that? 3? Is that 3 o'clock? 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 3 hours difference. So she has until 4 o'clock to get that done in that 12-hour time. If she doesn't get that done, she will have not be able to compete in the HOH competition. He also, from time to time, gets squirted and decontaminized with this slime. There's water that's squirted on her. It's a whole thing. In fact, she's still going as I record this right now. There's some people up kind of cheering her on as she goes. You can see her booth there that she has to do. If we're lucky during the recording, maybe we'll end up seeing a decontamination process from her. But yeah, she's got quite a ways to go with that, but still some time to do it. What else happened? MJ, she won a trip to Hawaii. I will say, I kind of wish Chemo was playing in this Power of Veto, and I kind of wish he would have won that just for like, yay, I won a trip home. That would be his prize. Is just a trip to like his next door neighbor's house, right? Like, thought that would have been interesting. But MJ walks away with a trip to Hawaii. Maybe she ends up taking good old crazy eye Matt with her, huh? You never know. Uh, T-Core won $5,000. It actually sounds like Tucker let her have this. Whereas Tucker, he ended up as the BBAI assistant. And he has a whole outfit that he has to wear here. You can take a look at him there. He has to look up different questions, like if you were asking, your phone, like, hey, what's the what was the thing he asked? It took him like half an hour. Who was the first sovereign to live in Buckingham Palace? It took him over a half hour to find the answer. You can see here he's got all of his books that he can go and look through and find those answers. If he's wrong, he's got to go back and look it up again. So I have a feeling in Tucker's CIA training, they didn't cover encyclopedia use. So I'm not 100% sure if he knows how to use them properly. But I'm sure he'll get very acquainted with it once his punishment is done. What that all means, though, if you were keeping track of the players and who won, Ham walks away with the power of veto. Let me fix my board here. Boom. Cameron, I told you guys, he turned 25. The other night, Cameron, he turned 25 years old. He's a completely different player. He's a fully grown BB player now. He is here to play. If you know, you'll get that reference. As far as everything else after that, we then had an AI Rubina show up and gave them a message about how good of a student Angela has been as she's been learning how to twerk and said, keep rolling butts for Chuck. Or, maybe the new Veto winner, her brand new showman's Cam. Either way, that's kind of what that message was all about. Rubina just talking about that kind of thing. Many people are pretty much thinking that Angela is the instigator inside the house at this point. There also was a clip floating around. I saw it. I watched it. A lot of people were thinking that it was Joseph telling Quinn that he is the instigator. But I don't think that's exactly what he said. When I listened to it and heard it back, I think he was saying everyone thinks it's Angela, but it also sounded like he told him something about the vote and possibly it being Leah going up on the block, and that he didn't want Quinn to tell anybody something. And I don't know if that was, hey, I'm the instigator, don't tell anybody, or if it's, hey, Leah's going on the block, don't tell anybody. Either way, he then said he would explain more and explain everything later afterwards. So again, I don't know 100% what he was saying there, but I don't think it was him confirming he's the instigator. We will find out for sure who the instigator is on tonight's episode. So my money is actually still on Joseph. I think Joseph is a strong candidate for it. But Angela is someone who it's seeming a little bit maybe more likely that it could be her, just kind of based off of some of the vibes that she's given off in the house. But again, we don't know. We don't know. We'll see. It could still be Tucker, and it would be pretty funny if it was Tucker. But yeah, in the end, we'll find out on tonight's episode what's going on with that. Now, as far as Renom talks, we saw T-Core and Rubina have a little chat. And I'll say this, if I was Rubina, alarm bells would have been going off for me in this conversation. And I don't know if maybe that's just because I know better and have a lot more information, but some of the things T-Core was saying, if someone said this to me, boom, it would instantly click. First off, she says Cam being safe this week is actually a good thing because he helps protect Chelsea. Is Chelsea in the room with us? No, T-Core. It's just you and Rubina. Why are we talking about protecting Chelsea? Now I know they've been trying to work with Chelsea and they kind of want to pull her over, but we all actually know that Chelsea probably ends up putting all of the members of the Friends up if she had a chance to. So her being protected is not good for the two of their games. Like she's actively going like, yeah, you know what? Tucker's got to go. And then after that, everybody's pointing at Chemo, they're pointing at Rubina, and they're pointing at T-Core because they are such a strong trio and they have Tucker kind of on their side. So everybody's looking at them, and once Tucker's gone, that's not a great thing, right? So if you're protecting Chelsea and Chelsea's going after Tucker, you start getting into a tough situation there, right? Another thing that T-Core said that instantly I would have been all over of like, all right, now I gotta make sure I do something about this. T-Core mentioned that if Chelsea was in the final two, she would vote for her to win. Now, she didn't necessarily say like, oh, I'd vote for her to win over you, Rubino, or I'd vote for her to win over anybody else. But just the fact that if somebody tells me there's a house guest they would vote to win in the final two, and it's not me, well, guess what? Who my number one target is that person, because that is a person they're going to vote for over me. I don't want them in the house anymore. So if I'm Rubina, Chelsea's on my list now, right? I don't want Chelsea around. The other thing she goes on to say, and I think this is probably the biggest red flag that Rubina should have picked up on, but I don't think she did, and especially with the way she T-Core phrased this. She said, I want Tucker to know he can trust us as of now, but we should make connections with other people in the house. To me, that's AKA if he loses AI, Tucker's gone. See you later, Tucker. Now, is T-Core actively targeting Tucker this week? I don't think so, right? It's an option, and if he happened to go, I don't think she would mind. But one, Rubina definitely is not down for this, and we're going to go over some of the vote scenarios that could play out with potential renoms and stuff like that. And T-Core would have to get very bloody if she wants Tucker gone. And then two, I don't know, like, is Rubina picking up on this from T-Core? Like, I don't 100% know if she's understanding what that conversation really, the undertones of it were. Again, maybe this is just because we have that outside information. I'm looking at it a little bit differently. But man, especially if Chelsea was in final two, I would vote for her to win. Immediately, I don't care who it is saying what. If another house guest said they're going to vote for somebody in the final two over me or just in general, that's someone they would vote to win. Well, that's my target now, right? Especially if it's someone who's a close ally of me. I don't want you having anybody else that you want to win. You want me to win, period. But I don't know if Rubina is picking up on that stuff. Now, they did talk about the potential replacement nominees. They talk about maybe putting up somebody from the 6th Avenue Alliance. If you guys don't remember that, it's pretty much the Friends alliance of Tucker, Chemo, T-Core, Rubina, plus Joseph and Angela. And the thing is, though, with the punishments, Joseph being in solitary confinement, Angela having to do the the toxic waste walk, which, by the way, we can take another peek in here if I get it set up. And you can see how far she actually has to walk here, back and forth. Those green balls there that she's walking towards right now, she has to take each one of those, put it in that bucket on the other side of the yard there. And there's over 1,000 of them. So good luck, Angela. Uh, T-Core, though, would feel bad with them having those punishments. Doesn't necessarily want to, put them up on the block as well. Plus, with Joseph especially, like, they know who his targets are. So maybe Leah is a better option because they started to kind of weigh Joseph and Leah. They didn't want to put Angela up. And with Leah, the thing is, they don't know who her targets would be. At least with Joseph, they have an idea like, oh yeah, he's probably going to go after Chelsea, but we can work around that. We can fix that. Meanwhile, MJ, she might have turned 25 as well, people. She is here to play. She starts telling Leah and Chelsea like she knows she's the target this week. She also is thinking that Cam and Tucker are working together, which not exactly right. They did make a final two this week, but Cam's 100% doing it just to kind of be on Tucker's good side and does plan to potentially go after him next week. So it's not like a real final two. He's very much on the opposite side of the house from Tucker. MJ, though, also thinks Angela and Tucker threw the veto competition. And she says if she stays and wins HOH, she's putting T-Core, Chemo, and Rubina up on the block. Even if Tucker is still here, those are the three that she would put up on the block. She's kind of nailing that they are a very tight trio. They got Tucker over on their side as well. She also says, otherwise, if we let those three stay, they're going to make it to the final three. Then Leah, who is also kind of realizing now, yeah, I'm going to be going up on the block. I'm pretty sure Quinn told her. I'm pretty sure Joseph told her. She even actually said that later in the day, that she doesn't want to just, sit around and let this happen. She wants to go to T-Core, say, open your eyes up. Next week, you can't win. And if somebody in your little group doesn't win, you're effed. Now, threatening the HOH, we've seen this season already, usually not the best strategy, right? Probably not your go-to maneuver. Maybe Leah workshop that little conversation a little bit better and don't come at it as aggressively as you're planning to right now. Chelsea actually later on filled Cam in on a lot of this, and they kind of agreed like that threesome of Chemo, T-Core, and Rubina is a problem. Do not talk bad about Rubina around T-Core and Chemo, and kind of vice versa. Don't say anything bad, kind of string them along, play along with kind of wanting to work with them and make something happen. But they also feel like, hey, right now, if we do end up getting Tucker on the block, Leah might be able to pull Quinn. She might be able to pull Joseph. And if he loses that AI arena, if he's on the block, maybe they can make something happen. Now, it seems like a lot of them are going to be pushing for Angela to be put up on the block over Leah. I think Quinn's going to be pushing that. I think Cam's going to be pushing that. I think Joseph is going to be pushing that as well. Potentially even Chelsea, potentially even MJ is going to be pushing that as well. And I think this is just only going to solidify T-Core to put up Leah, which she's already kind of leaning to do anyway. So kind of the opposite of what they would want to end up happening. Now, where would the votes lie? Let's say Leah is the replacement nominee. We don't know for sure if that's going to be. We still have a whole day of discussions and drama, and who knows what could happen between now and then. But it does seem like a good chance that Cam's going to use the power of veto on himself, and Leah's going to go up on the block. Let's take a look at our brand new allegiance map for today, because it's changed once again. I've kind of moved it around a little bit here, and we can kind of go over where I kind of see everything. But let's talk a little bit about kind of the votes as of right now as we do this. So if Leah is up on the block with MJ, I could see a push for Leah to go over MJ. I could even see it though going like a 5-3 vote either way. Um, Quinn, Cam, Joseph, they would probably be locks to keep Leah in the game. They would vote out MJ. Chelsea, Chemo, Rabina, they would probably vote to keep MJ, voting out Leah. Tucker and Angela end up kind of being that swing vote, right? You got a 3-3 vote at that point. Where would Tucker and Angela land? Tucker probably goes with Rubina, I would say, and they would end up keeping MJ over Leah. And I think Tucker even actually kind of likes MJ a little bit more than Leah does. Angela, I think, would follow Tucker with his vote and kind of go where he says. But we know that Angela and MJ have a little bit of a feud going all the way back from the Matt stuff. So it could even be a 4-4 tie. And in that scenario, I think T-Core would end up going with Leah out in the tiebreaker. Now, if Tucker is up there with either one of them, it's also pretty tricky. I could see it going down to, again, kind of a 3-on-3 scenario here, right? Where either MJ or Leah would be voting with Cam and Chelsea, and they would vote to evict Tucker. Chemo, Rabina, and I think Angela knows Tucker is good for her game, so she's going to keep Tucker and vote out either Leah or MJ, whoever would be on the block. And then it would come down to Quinn and Joseph. And I could see them going either way, depending on who's up on the block. If Leah's up on the block, really complicates things. If MJ's up on the block, I think they end up going with Tucker in the long run. I don't think either of them would keep MJ in the game over Tucker with kind of how the dynamics are in the house. But I still could see Quinn kind of flipping over there. Joseph, I think, would keep Tucker, and that could end up being a 4-4 tie right there. And T-Core would have to make the decision. Now, if it's Leah on the block, I could see a scenario where Joseph goes for Leah and Quinn goes for Leah as well, and Tucker goes just like that, only getting Rubina, Emo, and Angela's vote to stay. It's not a straightforward week, and even depending on who ends up on the block, who loses AI Arena, who ends up winning AI Arena, it all could change how this is going down. And there's a lot of scenarios where we could end up with a split vote and T-Core being that deciding factor. I I honestly don't 100% know where things would go depending on how things play out here. And what a lot of people probably thought was going to be a very boring, simple week is anything but a boring, simple week at the moment. With everything going on, I've just been having a great time with this season. There's something about this cast, right? We can see here, like with our allegiance map, it's very linear, right? So let's kind of go over what positionings I have. Let's start at the very top, Chelsea. I have her back up at the top. She's kind of in the best spot in the game. Are people targeting her? Sure, right? Joseph has kind of a sight set out for her. Tucker has kind of seen her as a threat. One of the big things is now that Brooklyn is gone, her threat level has gone way down, and she has so many people protecting her. Even people who shouldn't be protecting her, like Chemo and T-Core, they're going to try and protect her. Rubina even seems like she's trying to be protective of Chelsea. Cam's trying to be protective of Chelsea. MJ, I don't think would put Chelsea up if she ends up staying. Leah as well. So I really feel like Chelsea is in a pretty good spot right now as far as the game goes. Underneath her, I do have at the moment Chemo and T-Core on that next level, just a little bit higher than everybody else. The issue is, we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, they're right now being propped up by the threat of Tucker. If Tucker leaves this week, Chemo and T-Core, their game, I think, is going to drop drastically. Once Tucker's gone, the trio of Chemo, T-Core, and Rubina becomes a huge spotlight. And I could see where the other players would gun for them till at least one or two of them are gone. Whether it's just Rubina, then they would kind of go, okay, now we can kind of reestablish things with Chemo and T-Core, or it ends up being Rubina and Chemo, and T-Core ends up losing three allies, starting with one on her own HOH. Things could get really wild there. Moving down the line, though, just underneath Chemo and T-Core, I got Rubina. I think if they keep Tucker, she's in a good spot, right? Especially because if it ends up on the block with Tucker and Rubina, especially after AI Arena's over and we could start getting into kind of the jury phase, I feel like Rubina would always stay over Tucker. So she's in kind of a little bit of a good spot there. Joseph, I have just a little bit above Tucker, and he's on kind of the same plane, I think, as Quinn. Almost on opposite sides there a little bit, but also still kind of play in the middle a little bit where either one could go either way with kind of working with Tucker. Quinn has talked about how with Tucker saving him and how even Tucker today said, "Hey, I'm glad I saved you." I'm like, I'm glad you're around. So Quinn seems like, at least when he's talking to Chemo, T-Core, Rubina, that he's open to working with Tucker. But again, I think if he does have that shot, I think he knows he has to kind of take it. It just is a matter of when. And also, maybe he is kind of buying into it a little bit. Maybe he realizes, hey, Tucker being here is a great shield for me. And the longer he's here, the better. And I can kind of hang out while he's here. And if I end up on the block next to him, again, he goes. So we'll see. Tucker also kind of wants to keep Quinn around because he feels like Quinn owes him, right? He saved Quinn's life in the game. And right, in a way, Tucker's got a kind of point, right? You could imagine a scenario where if you save someone like that, you would think they owe you a little bit and they would kind of repay you. But with someone like Quinn, I think he's smart enough to know, hey, if I have that shot, I'm going to take it. Underneath Joseph and Quinn, I have Tucker and Cam kind of on the same plane as well. I think they're kind of parallels on either side of the house. Underneath them, I would then have Leah just a little bit above Angela, and then Angela just a little bit above MJ, who's all the way down at the bottom. And that's kind of how I see the layout right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. What do you think of how everything played out with the veto? Who do you think will replacement nom will be? Will it be Leah? Will it be Angela? Will things get kind of crazy and we end up seeing maybe like a Joseph go on the block? Maybe Quinn going up on the block? Let me know in those comments down below. Also, what do you think of all these voting scenarios, especially if it does end up being Leah on the block? There's lots of different ways this can go. Do you think Tucker is automatically gone if he's on the block on Thursday? Or do you think it could end up being a place where it's a tie and then T-Core's got to make that decision on, does she take out Tucker or does she take out one of the other two that's end up sitting next to him? Let me know all of that in the comments down below. Also, if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, smash that like button. Hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We do daily live feed updates every single morning. First thing in the morning. Every Thursday, we do live eviction watch parties. And then every Friday, we do a live chat update where you get the update just like we do here, where you get all the information right at the start. And afterwards, we jump into the chat. We hang out, everybody. It's a real good time. Check out all the links in the description, pinned comment down below to all my socials, things like Twitter and Discord, great places to keep track, kind of everything going on. I'm always talking about BB stuff over on Twitter, posting when my videos go live. Also over in the Discord, another great place to chat with other BB fans as well about what's going on the live feeds, what's going on in the episodes, other reality shows that you like. There's a lot of great ones out there right now, like the Challenge 40. We got a lot of other great reality shows coming up in not too distance of the future. Things like House of Villains, Traders, lots of great stuff coming up. Also, just once again, I can't thank you enough for all the love and support you guys show me here on this channel. I really do appreciate it all, whether you're hitting up the Ori Fund, where you're just hitting that thumbs up every time, putting those comments. All that stuff is just so appreciative. I really cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you once again. I will keep saying thank you, and I will see you next time.
Go ahead.
Throw it in my very large mouth hole.
Oh my God! Oh, holy!
Throwing.